Hey everybody, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. We are here on Sovnoska, and we put a poll out, about an hour ago to see what map you guys wanted to see precision farming first look on, and Sovnoska was the surprising winner with close to half the votes. Kind of surprised. I wanted to do a map that wasn't Ravenport, Fellsburn, or Erlengrot. I wanted to do a mod map to kind of demonstrate that this stuff works on mod maps. It doesn't need to be specially prepared. Now, when you load up the map, you'll know if a map has a custom soil map to it, because in the log, it will basically say right here. So let's get down here. So the last line here says load soil map, and then it's loading the precision farming soil map. Oh, no, wait, this is a save game. Sorry. It will tell you that it's loading the default or the generic soil map. So that's just it loading the save game soil map. But if you load up a brand new map, never before, new save game, it will say if it's loading the generic map or not. Now, included with the mod was a PDF on how to create your own soil mask. So expect a huge flurry of map updates probably in the next couple weeks, with maps coming out that have custom soil maps. So precision farming, what is it about? You probably already know. Basically, it brings to the game a higher level of realism, in that now we have different soil types: loamy sand, sandy loam, and silty clay. Now, if you're like me, those don't mean a darn thing. But I did some research earlier today, and I discovered I am calling the soil triangle. I'll put that up here on the screen for everybody. But here we have the soil triangle. Whoops. Rotate it. We want to zoom it in. There we go. Soil triangle. So loamy sand is basically mostly sand and a little bit of clay. Sandy loam is a little less sand, a little more clay. Then we have loam, which is kind of this in the middle of sand and silt and clay. And then we have, what is it? Last one. Silty clay. And silty clay is over here, where it is a little bit of sand and a fair bit of silt and a fair bit of clay. So I thought that was cool to find this soil triangle out there. If you search this, you'll find a whole different kinds of variants, all with different colors in them. But I thought this was kind of an interesting thing to have pop up. We also now have the concept of soil pH. So right now I've got, you might ask, why are my colors different? I had colorblind mode turned on. Now I've got the normal mode turned on. We have our soil type colors, have our pH colors, and this interesting outdated data column. Thinking what this is that after your harvest, this information becomes outdated, and you basically have to rescan. You have to retake soil samples after every year, or every harvest, with respect to if you're playing without seasons. We also have nitrogen. So if you go here and look at the main world screen, we had fertilizer here and lime here. Now you see it says P precision farming, that information. And that is because we now have this information here for nitrogen. And think of this as fertilization, and think pH as lime. And different soil types are going to have different pH values, and different crops are going to have different nitrogen values. It's not going to be just a once and done thing. Every field is going to need a little bit extra care, a little bit extra back to that. And then we also have yield bonuses and yield buffs, if you will, where we've got our normal yield, But if we don't have the proper pH or nitrogen levels, well, we can have a lower yield. We have exceedingly great pH and nitrogen levels, have greater yield. Pretty cool. Yeah, Roy, we fired this up with seasons. We're not going to do the demo with seasons today, because we're going to be pretty much stuck with seasons time frame. I'm hoping to kind of fly through several different aspects of this today. Also included with precision farming, we have John Deere Gator XUV 865M, and it comes with 3-point attachment or standard. We're going to need a 3-point attachment because we need to get the soil sample machine that is here under tools and miscellaneous. Have the Azara Scout machine here, and it just connects to a 3-point hitch. So we're going to go ahead and over here to the shop and get to on some soil samples. Hey, Carla, Doug, Paul, GoldenEye, Chef, Will, Scooter's Workbench, Steve the Farmer, Darren, how is everybody tonight? Well, Carla, I'll be doing a kind of a how-to video, or multiple sets of how-to videos here throughout the rest of the week to kind of explain it a little bit better. Maybe give you a little more clarity as to what's going on. It's not as complex as seasons, but it is complex for sure. And the best thing is you don't have to use it. You don't want to. Flamingo boots. That would be a negative. It will work with any map. In fact, that's why we're firing up Sovnoska here. This is definitely not a Giants map. That is the very reason why I wanted to do this stream on a non-Giants map. This mod will work with any map for Farm Sim 19. Any map. Go over here to a field we own. And we'll pull up here to the field. And we'll hit B to take a soil sample. My very first soil sample. Oh, we have to unfold the unit. Soil sample plunger. And let's take a sample. Oh, we got a sample. Samples taken 1. Go back here and go to our precision farming. Go to soil types. Now see that this says soil samples are taken, and we've got this kind of area. Move on. And take a look down there in the mini map. Love the mini map. You can now see a circle kind of emulating the range that our sample is going to do. So it's kind of right here and maximize our soil sample. You see that down in the mini map? I think we can probably hit this with three samples. Three samples taken. Now we're just going to leave that over there untouched. Let's buy some land. Oh. I'm probably going to do that a lot. I'm going to look at this field info screen. That's pretty cool. So we can see general information about the field before we even click on it. That is pretty slick. All right, let's go take some more samples. The Raz is correct. If you load this up on a map that does not have its own soil map, then it will use a generic soil map, which actually is the same as the Bellsburn soil map. Now, the mod itself has soil maps for Ravenport, Bellsburn, Erlangrot, Estancia La Pacha, as well as the generic soil map. Kind of drive out here in our field, get lined up, and let's take our test. There are 2 placeables. That is correct. We'll get to those in a minute. Hey, Justin, what's up? Oops. You see from the F1 menu, we've got 5 samples taken now. Angus, I think that rumor is false. I know some folks that fired this up pretty much right away on, what is that? Medicine Creek. That is a 4X map. Works just fine on Medicine Creek. Again, that is a map that does not have a custom soil map. Dynamic mini-map is super duper cool. We're going to do Field 23 and then we're going to send it off. Kind of in here to maximize our coverage. Feet, I have no idea. Maybe you can't turn Lime off anymore. Lime required on and off. Well, you can turn it on or off. I assume if it's off, then the pH doesn't do anything. So many what ifs. I'm not really going to deal with trying to assess, well, what if this and what if that. Now, the gist with the soil map is that Giants has hard-coded the soil map size to be 1024 by 1024, which is typically the size of a standard size maps, kind of like ground terrain. And a 4X map would be 2048 by 2048 for that same file. But the mod seems to have hard-coded in it the expectation of 1024 by 1024. In fact, if you load up a map with a file that is size other than 1024 by 1024, the West Coast does not have custom soil Flamingo boot because, well, up until this moment, or up until this morning, Giants did not release any information on how to make a custom soil map. As we're demonstrating here on Soft Noska, play the map. You don't need a custom soil type. Just get basically a default generic one, which is basically Ravenport. In fact, all kinds of map folks will be releasing updates to their maps to include custom soil types. It's going to come in probably the next few weeks. I don't think we're going to be able to try it on this map because all of these are square fields. Square-ish. Oh no, this one's kind of, but I did see there was some code in the AI helper. There's an AI helper Lua. There's some code that appears as if it might help the AI helper go around curves. Typically when you hire a helper, they go straight. They just go in straight lines. There was some Lua code that implied that AI helper would now be able to follow a curve. May mean that it can follow the edge of a field better as opposed to simply driving across field. Or we've taken 17. So that is what the buildings do, and we're going to put one down here in a little bit. Buildings do not basically give you the ability to use GPS. Buildings simply allow your AI helpers supposedly to work more efficiently and faster. It may have kind of some maybe advanced AI programming in them. That might be something that we see in the new farm sim. We're almost done. Now, I think we have enhanced mini-maps for harvesting, seeding, fertilizing, lime application, and of course, soil sampling. Yeah, there's nothing special about this John Deere Gator. In fact, this is the last time I'm ever going to use it. I suspect when I use it on my Farming in the Alps series, I'm just going to use the Unitrack. Alright, so that then is going to basically mean that we have coverage of most of the 1, 2, 3 fields. This one's ready to harvest. I'm not going to do that. Let's fold this back up. Raise it. And let's send our soil samples off for analysis. So soil samples are now sent to the lab for analysis. You'll see results soon. Alright, so while we wait, let's talk about the placeables come with this pack. There are 2 buildings. We have the building with RTK base station. This is a little small building. Not too terrible big. It can be placed anywhere on the map. I'll stick it right here, just for funsies. And our soil has been already analyzed. That was super fast. Here we have this building, and this building is supposedly going to help our AI helpers. Go ahead and put that to the test. So take a look at that yield now in the mini-map. It's zoomed in. We now have a color coding on our yield. Look over here now at our yield filter. Come in here, we can see that we are getting 65% yield because, well, we never took soil samples of this field. We don't know really where this field is. Now, we got results back from our other fields already. And there we go. You can see there's spots that we've missed. We didn't cover everything. Got spots that we missed. Spots that we did get. See that field 14 is basically silty clay. Field 20 is basically loam. Field 23 is loam, sandy loam, and loamy sand. And remember we showed earlier the soil triangle. Put that back up. We have our soil triangle here. Make it a little bit bigger. So we've got loamy sand, which is mostly sand, a little bit of clay. We have sandy loam, which is a little less sand, a little more clay. Then we have loam. Then we have silty clay over here. So those are the 4 soil types that are available in the game. And those are the 4 soil types that we have here on these fields that we own. So now, take a look here. Up in the sky, so we have good contrast. So now that we're in field 23, you can see we have good pH value, bad nitrogen level. Here, let's walk across the field, and you'll see, whoop, now we have okay pH, still bad nitrogen. So our pH levels are not going to be consistent across the entire field. They're going to change. So how do we fix that? Well, we apply lime. Down here a little bit. Now we're good and bad. Now we're bad and bad. We got bad pH, bad lime for our loam sand. pH is okay. Kind of get the gist there, right? You're probably not on the right screen. You need to be on the world screen now, remember. On the precision farming screen, you can't get to the lands. Be on this screen to get to lands. See if it says precision farming on there. So we have good pH, bad pH, good nitrogen. Let's get a nitrogen applicator. I think I have one, do I? Nope. Let's get a nitrogen spreader. Get a lime spreader. And let's get mini wheels. Decent tractor. Go. Alright, so let's see, where is... We'll just do that. Now, take a look in the F1 menu. This is new. So in the F1 menu, we now have pH value lime application. Right now, below that, you might see it is set to auto application rate. We can go and change that to manual by hitting the comma key. Now we have manual application, and we can basically change the application rate with the K and M keys. Increase and decrease the application rate. Or we could be automatic and just say, you know what? We've already programmed all the information into our tractor. We are going to apply this automatically. Then you've got some mod that's conflicting, because you've got a conflicting mod. And it doesn't have anything, yeah, I mean, no issues with mod maps. So you'll see when we move up here, our mini map now zooms in to our pH. We have it set to automatic. I'm going to do that. And now take a look at the F1 menu. You'll see basically our current pH. You might be able to see it. You'll see the flag, which represents the ideal pH levels. You'll see the application rate is changing. And you'll see on the mini map, that our pH levels are adjusting. Take a look here and go to pH levels. See that they are now adjusting here. To 6.5. Our application rate is changing to basically keep it at 6.5 or thereabout. I'm going to hire a helper, and you'll see the helper should be applying this dynamically also. Now, I did see somebody report that they were worried that it wasn't working because they were seeing that certain parts of the field, their lime spreader wasn't applying lime. Well, that's because in automatic mode, if you don't need lime, if you've already got the optimal pH level, then it's not going to apply it. It's going to stop. So let's do this. Let's turn the hired helper off. Turn the lime spreader on. And I'm going to drive over this. And it turned it off by itself. I didn't turn it off. Turn it off by itself. I'm going to turn out of here. I'm not turning it on or off. And it's going to turn it on all by itself. Okay, so that's not me. In fact, if you look up in the upper left, you'll see that it's basically still turned on. But it doesn't need to apply it because it's already at the optimal level. So this is great. Remember that mod in 17 where it would automatically turn the sprayer boom on or off? That's what this is doing. I don't know about unrealistic. If this is all computer operated now, then it's going to know that where you are in the field with GPS, and it's going to know if you've got some sort of controller, electronic controller on your spreader that can adjust spread rates. Let's see how that's not realistic. Pretty modern. You know, every farmer isn't necessarily going to have it. Mr. Dio, the answer is no. Map does not have to be updated for this to work. I am on Soft Noska. Not edit this map. Fired it up. moments before the stream. I put a poll up an hour before the stream, 4 different maps to see what map would be basically the one we do. No more wasted lime, slurry, liquid fertilizer, solid fertilizer, manure, all of that. Let's look at that other building. Anybody saying that the map has to be updated for this to work is giving you misinformation. That it's deliberate, that's misinformation. I have this anywhere on? Do that one down here. So this is the other building. Now this is a functional shed, 39,500. What's nice about that is that it's a functional shed. So you get a shed out of it. Pretty nice looking model at that. That's supposed to help your hired helpers do their jobs, be more efficient. There's some code in the Lua that seems to imply that it's going to maybe help your hired helpers drive circles. Not drive circles, but follow curves. Not going to necessarily always do... I don't play with course play anymore because I find it completely trash. So, no. So, lime is for pH. Fertilizer, including organic and chemical, is for nitrogen. So let's do that now. Let's go and get a manure spreader. It's their visual. Bigger one. That. And let's fill this thing up with manure. Oh yeah. Once again, we have that automatic gauge in the F1 screen. Auto mode is automatically turned on. Gontar, I don't do Twitch. Not really worried about crop destruction. Turn this on, and you'll see we are now applying nitrogen. Basically, we are applying fertilizer, is affecting our nitrogen levels. And you can see the F1 menu. Hopefully you can see that the application rate is changing as we move across the field. Hire a helper there. And now if we go to our nitrogen screen, you were coming up from 40 and 20 kilograms a hectare, I guess, to a level of 100. or 60 or 80, depending on soil type. Okay. And if we hover over this now, we can see that our pH is now perfect, but our nitrogen is bad for sugar beets. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to cultivate this. Decent sized cultivator here. Take us all night. Spin the wheel of fortune, and we land on a... Oh, not enough power. Land on the Fent. Oh. Gotta be on the right screen. That works just fine on a save game. I expect to get a yield reduction. So let's take a look here. So field 19, we did not sample. Okay, we don't have any data for field 19. It was ready to harvest when we activated the game. You can see we are getting basically a yield of 65%. Yield potential of 65% on that field. So if you activate it mid-save with crop in the ground, just expect that first yield is going to be below what you expect. What I did and what I plan on doing is I have an existing save on Erlingbrot that I am going to activate this on, but all the crops are already harvested. In autumn, no crops in the ground. That's the equivalent of starting seasons in early spring. So I can basically add it and use the rest of autumn and winter soil sampling, do my pH treatment and my initial fertilization treatment. And possibly even some seeding. And now, if we go over this, basically we have, over here we have sugar beets, we've got bad nitrogen, perfect pH. Go over here, we've cultivated, we have good pH, we have nitrogen of 80. Okay, we have nitrogen of 100. pH varies, but it's basically a nitrogen of 100. And that's where we're going to sit until we put crop in the ground, and then we'll know where our nitrogen levels are compared to where they need to be for that particular crop. So pH is based on soil type. Different soil types have different optimal pH, but crop is dependent on, nitrogen levels are dependent on crop. What I need to be saying. So if I put wheat in here, if I put barley in here, put oats in here, in fact, that's what we're going to do. We're going to strip farm this field. We're going to put a strip of every crop in there, and you'll see how different crops are going to respond to different levels of nitrogen. Pull up the mini map. See, now if we jump in this harvester, watch what happens to the mini map. zooms in, and we have that color for our harvest yield. So we get kind of a zoomed in view for lime, fertilizer, seeding is what I understand, as well as harvest. I don't know if we get it when we're doing cultivation work. Nope, we don't get it when we do cultivation work. Since we have variable liming rates, look at this lime. I'm pretty confident we would have blown through lime. Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. Who's an idiot? Looking at him. I had it set on buy. I just fired this up in normal. Well, there is technically a way to cheat it in, but I really don't want to give you that command. And you have to have cheats enabled, and well, what fun is that? So I do want to show you some images that I got right before the stream. So this is the soil map for Sovnolska. Okay, it's basically using the default soil map that is going to be applied to any map that does not have its own custom soil map. See, we are working on field 23 right now. Then we have a default pH. This is the pH levels on a starting save game on Sovnolska. And then we have the nitrogen levels. Now the colors are different because I had colorblind mode turned on for this. So we got a question about feeders with fertilizer. Let's do it. Let's do this. Feeders. Fertilize. All right, we'll do this one. It fertilizes and seeds. Feel of misfortune. Go. There you go. Looks like it's going to be automatic. How about them apples? AJ, we talked about this before. I watched them on occasion. So if there are other questions, Put them in chat. If I don't see them, don't like spam chat, but ask them every so often. So we're going to apply wheat. We're going to apply a strip of each crop that this heater will do. Guys out of manure. Work. Tonight we had Subway. We're going to have a ham, but timing didn't work out. Alright, so we're applying wheat. And you can see we are now applying dynamically our solid fertilizer. That's going to change as we move across the field. As we move into different soil types. And then different crops will require, as I've said, different nitrogen levels to be optimal. And different crops will basically leave the soil with a certain amount of nitrogen deficit after harvest. Here we're applying at 444, now we're down to 222 kilograms a hectare. And the application rates are going to vary based on solid fertilizer with liquid fertilizer. Okay. Now let's see here where we are. So our nitrogen and pH are perfect for wheat. The nitrogen is 200 of 200 kilograms per hectare. pH level is 6.75. So it's hovering between good and perfect. Back here is good. Okay, now let's go apply barley. Oh yeah, I guess you could. Change the radius on the thingamabobber, right? So now we are seeding barley. And we're probably going to be applying nitrogen at a different value. Hey Luke, what's up? I don't know about contract fields. It zooms in when you're applying fertilizer, seeding, harvesting, applying lime, and doing soil samples. Grass fields, yes. In fact, there's also the concept of over-fertilization. To allow over-fertilization, and if you do that, you may or may not get a yield hit. Hey Travis, what's up? David, I don't think you need more than one. I just put both down to demonstrate them. Now, let's see here. So our barley is at perfect. Take a look. Barley's at 120 out of 140. 120 out of 120. Okay. But our wheat is a 140. This is on loamy sand over here. We were on different soil type at the other end of the field. This came out this morning. Let her help her out. Do that. Empty this. Yes, this is available on console. Is a free add-on by Giants called Precision Farming. Hey, MDC Maddock Modding, what's up? Precision Farming tab. This is the only field we've harvested so far, showing a 65% yield because this was completely untested. We can see our nitrogen levels, see our pH levels, and our soil types. And this is new. Take a look here. That's our economic analyses. Take a look at that here in a moment. To our tractor. This is Sovnoska. I wanted to do a map that was not one of the Giants' base maps, just to demonstrate that this can be done. Not have to have a custom soil map just to work. Now we're going to do canola, oats, barley, wheat. Different pH values. Same pH value because it's the same type of soil loam. See, we are at different nitrogen levels because different crops require different nitrogen levels. Yes, you can get on Xbox. Get on any platform that plays FS19. Alright, catch you later, David. Let's get a planter now. And the planter we're going to get, obviously, is not going to do... Obviously. The planter we're going to get will not do fertilize. And we're just going to get this. Do Hickey. Then we'll use spray fertilizer, soybeans, we'll wait. I'm going to take some soil samples. So we'll come up here, we'll unfold the sampler. Okay. And you see down the mini map, we now have a green circle that symbolizes the range our sample machine is going to work with. Get that mostly in the field, and we'll hit B to collect a soil sample. And then we've got our soil sample. Minimap changes color to represent that we've taken a sample of there. Another soil sample. Take care of this guy. Not really. I don't go to the in-game mod hub. Always use the website. Ah, yes, there is a search function. Use that. So oilseed radish does not. Basically, I don't think oilseed radish matters with nitrogen because it's nature of its crop. Hire out a helper again, and we'll do our grass. And we have our variable application rates. Bigger sample. Well, on console, that's the only way they have to get mods, so. Okay, now once we've taken our samples, we can send them off for analysis. Do right now. And that came back pretty quick, $400. Soil is now analyzed. Go take a look at it. Here we have sandy loam, loamy sand, sandy loam, and loam. Rye. We won't do rye because I don't think it's defined. Get our planter. And then when we get the planter working, we will take a look at that harvest analysis and other things. So do expect a flurry of maps to be updated in the near future with custom soil maps. But a map does not have to have a custom soil map in order to basically make use of precision farming. If a soil map does not exist, a default soil map will be used. Just so happens that the default soil map is the same as Felsburn soil map. There's no way to. Is there a way to global check field samples or manually? Well, when you're done sampling, you hit Y, send them off. So you could collect all the samples you wanted and then send them off. So here we have field 8 hit. Here, yield map. Let's do that. So here we are, field 19. Spent $400. We spent $100 to do soil samples. We haven't applied any lime. There's our yield. Expected to earn about $10,000 off of that. Spent $1,000 on AI helper. So our total profit should be about $8,400. Take a look here at field 23. Took 16 soil samples. We've applied 14,140 liters of lime. There's the cost to that. Amount of mineral fertilizer we applied. Cost for that. We haven't applied any liquid. There's the amount of manure. Amount of seed that we've applied so far. Fuel we've used. Vehicle maintenance costs associated with the work we've done. Cost for AI helper. And the total costs. So right now we're down $7,200 in expenses for this field. I doubt the handheld has had any changes. We don't have seasons activated here to know. The seasons update today was not related to precision farming. It dropped with some other updates. And it just so happened to also fix the backwards grass on Erlenbrot. Oh, that would be nice, right? To hired help a soil sample. Now this should completely mess with the program's thought process. Okay, so seeding does not zoom it in. We're not applying fertilizer here, we're just seeding. The issue with Erlengrot grass was it's backwards. Wet grass was a light color and semi-dry grass was the dark green. So we do have fast crop growth turned on, so that's what happened there. pH values, there we've got nitrogen levels. Yield, we don't know our yield because we haven't harvested yet. We see our nitrogen is good. Sunflowers is okay. Corn. Up here it's bad for corn. Nitrogen levels vary across the field. Come over here. Okay, it's good for sunflowers. Get a better contrast. I know it's probably small on the screen. Oh, now we're bad. Suddenly we have bad nitrogen for our sunflowers. Now it's back to okay. John, it should work out of the box with the 4X map. No edits. There's people that have loaded it up with Medicine Creek without any issue whatsoever. It has a hard check for a soil map that's 1024 by 1024. Soybeans now. Then let's get a sprayer. Let's get it. What's up, Marshall? You've got a mod conflict, John. There was another person in chat earlier had that issue. Also, make sure you're on the globe screen, the world screen, when you try to buy land, as opposed to being on the precision farming screen. That won't let you go to land. I know I'm going to be having that issue of being on the wrong screen. Flamingo Boot had that issue. I'm thinking it's a mod conflict. And that is when you have the pleasure of going through and turning things off until it works. Hey, Lucas, what's up? Oh, I didn't have any mod conflicts, but I don't really run a ton of mods. Beets. Cotton, corn. Sugar beets and cotton. 2 more. Oh, thanks for the super chat, John. Let's apply our manure. And you'll see that we're doing we've got automatic application set up. And so we're variably applying manure as we go across the field. Now we're applying 11.4 tons per hectare. No, I don't think that's too much, but there's clearly something in there. So what I do is take half your mods out, fire it up, see what happens. If it still has a problem, take the other half and put the first half back in, take the other half out. If you have any issues, basically you should then be able to do what you need to do. Then take half of what you took out, put back in, and just keep doing half until you figure out what the problem is. You put half in, and you have the problem, and you didn't earlier, then take half of those out, keep whittling it down. No, you're not going to fertilize 3 times. You're going to fertilize until you have the optimal nitrogen level. Okay? So like here we have bad nitrogen, going between bad and good nitrogen for sugar beets. Over here we're at good nitrogen for cotton. Over here we have red, very bad nitrogen for soybeans. Here we have bad nitrogen for sunflowers. Over here we have good and okay nitrogen for corn. Over here we have good and perfect nitrogen. Oh, here we have just the nitrogen level for grass. Okay. Here we have good and probably because it's just drip. Here we have perfect nitrogen. And all of these we applied with cedar, did fertilization. If you've got global company, take that out. If that fixes it. Go get our sprayer. Lawrence, we're going to stream for another 45 minutes. Oops. What's broke, Jess? Can't buy land? Well, then you've just got a mod conflict. That's the gist. If it was broke, then no one would be able to buy land. Bought land. More land. Buy land all you want. Got a mod conflict. Field 28 of what? This map? Bought it. Global company is not the answer. Lucas, this was a FS17 map. Also an FS15 map. It's converted to FS19. Okay, just stop typing with your little fingers and just listen to what I'm saying. There is a known mod conflict with the unit convert mod. Take unit convert out, or go to Thunder Facebook page and download an update. He has updated it to fix the known conflict with precision farming. If you don't use unit convert, you have a problem. You're using something else that has a conflict, and you get now the pleasure of tracking that down. Precision farming is not broke. No mod is guaranteed to work with any other mod. Now we are going to apply fertilization, and this is going to be fun because we're applying it across different seedings using automatic application. Basically, we're going to be raising our nitrogen levels with liquid fertilizer so that they will be optimal. Went from bad nitrogen levels. We have now good levels, perfect levels. Now you may say, whoa, it's broke. It's not broke, it's just it doesn't need to apply nitrogen here. It was picking up this as being perfect already. Stopped applying nitrogen, liquid fertilizer, and then it started applying it here because it detected that it needed it. Here we're good. And now we are at perfect. Okay. So if you're applying lime, solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, slurry, or digestate, if you have it on automatic application, if the soil doesn't need it, precision farming turns it off. Lucas, it's part of the precision farming, so yes, it's going to be on console. So this thing right here is part of the precision farming add-on. So it's available. Didn't have a gator before, you do now. Turn that off. We will be trying to put out a few how-to videos related to precision farming here later this week. Thinking about splitting it up and basically doing a video related to kind of a introduction to precision farming. Doing a video on soil types. Oops, well, doing a video talking about soil types, what they are, and then doing a video on pH and nitrogen. We'll just kind of see how it all works out. I might lump them all into one big video. I'm not really sure. I don't know how he's distributing it, but I know that I've seen links in our Discord for those updates. See how we're applying different rates. Now, obviously, ideally, you're not going to have like a whole bunch of different strips in one field like we do here. It's Steam? No, you got to go to the Giants website and download it. It's not a Steam type DLC. It's just a mod add-on DLC. You have to download it from the Giants Mod Hub. So one thing, Russ, is that let me pull it up. Let me pull it up, people. Give me a flipping minute. All right, I'll pull up a file when I get to the end of this row. Oh, what the hell? Let's turn it around. Turn around. I'll show you something. So hopefully this works. Look, it's not applying any fertilizer. That's because of these. Because we've got these strips. Bad example. Bad example. All right, so let me show you here. So included in the download is this document on how to prepare your maps for precision farming. Talks about how to basically create a custom soil map. You do not need a custom soil map and a mod map to play with precision farming. You don't have a soil map, we'll basically use a generic one. Talks on how you can do this. Forward for people who are basically making maps. Now, what it also talks about down here is what to do with respect to custom crops. I don't like to call them fruit. Custom crops. So the question about farming agency, I would probably wait until farming agency updates their maps to work with precision farming, because a lot of the farming agency maps have custom crops, if I'm remembering right. And the way it works is the nitrogen levels are crop related. Here are the 4 soil types that are in the game. And depending on the soil type, your crop will have a different target nitrogen level. They'll need more nitrogen for, let's say, loam than they need for sandy loam. Okay? And then there will be a different yield potential for the different soil types. And then here is the reduction in pH, or not, in nitrogen. What this is saying is the target level is 140. After harvest, you're going to lose 140. You're going to have no nitrogen left in the soil for first soil type. For the third soil type, the target is 200. You're going to only reduce 180, so you're going to leave 20 in the soil. There is information here related to basically making your map that has custom crops work with the map or with the mod. Oh. And where are we at? Let's fast forward this. You've got something that has mangled your XML, Thomas. Blue Ice Gaming, what is up? Yes, so let me show you. So we're going to play, let's show off the map, right? Showing off the mod. Let me open this up. I can't zoom. All right, that's fine. Squint really, really close. Like get super close to your screen. So this is the precision farming map, okay? We go to soil maps. All right, we have custom girlies for Alpine, the Alpine map, for Felsburn, for Estancia La Pacha, for Ravenport, and generic. So the Giants maps, so Erlengrot, Felsburn, Estancia La Pacha, and Ravenport have their soil maps in precision farming mod. Any map that does not have its own soil map any mod that does not have its own soil map will get this generic early. Okay. And here is the generic soil map as it is applied to Sovnovska, which does not have its own default soil map. See the different soil types here. Now we've got that. Cultivate this field. Check out. Soybeans. Perfect. All right, we need to apply solid fertilizer. To our soybeans here. All right, so here you go. Here's an example. Our application rate has been changed to 0 because it's basically saying we don't need to apply any nitrogen to our soybeans. Oh wait, that's lime. What are you doing? Attention. Pay attention. Demonstrate too many things. Now we're applying fertilizer. But we still have that deal where we have our automatic application rate. It's turned on. I didn't turn it off. Just through miracles of modern technology, it has established that there's no nitrogen needed. And just leave that here. I think what this is telling me is that soybeans don't need nitrogen. I don't know. See that fertilize and lime has basically been moved to precision farming. Try to spray fertilizer, see how that does. Ah, the info, whatever that is. That changed this. So that might explain why there is a particular system call in the Lua that is looking to see if Seasons is activated. Because we know that Seasons plays with this menu and moves the animal screen. Because there is a specific Lua call in one of the files I was looking at earlier today. Basically was saying, is Seasons activated? Look for Seasons. It's not going to apply any more nitrogen. Make time fly. It's hard to say, Will. There's definitely additional plans, from what I understand, because this is a multi-year project, and as a result, that is ready to go. We got weeds in here, but that's okay. Go harvest this and see what we get. So we know that precision farming is a multi-year project. And this is, from what we understand, the first iteration. Let's check this here and go here. We can see we took 4 soil samples. We applied lime, applied a little bit of mineral, applied manure, fuel used, maintenance. There's our cost. We're down $1,400 on field 20. We're down $8,700 on field 23. And basically we can reset our field 19 values harvested. Now that we've reset them back to 0. So watch the mini map. Zoom in. And I wonder what our yield's going to be. Our yield is 125%. Nice. And you'll see here our pH levels are dropping. So that pH is 160. Now we're Putting pH into the ground. 140. 20. We're putting pH in the ground. So, I don't know. Maybe somebody that's a real farmer and would know this. Soybeans add nitrogen. Sorry. Soybeans add nitrogen to a ground. I know there's kind of like a reason you follow certain crops up. Like you don't want to do like corn. I think corn sucks the nutrients out of the ground. Looks like there might be some positive benefits to planting soybeans. Following corn, because you would get some nitrogen back. Oh, it's still over here. Battery H is the chemistry major. So legumes, soybeans, add nitrogen to the soil. Well, ASAP Slide, you can do me a favor and go out there on a sub crusade for me. Farmer Min is in the house. What is up? Yeah, it looked like soybeans were angry that we had too much nitrogen in the ground. That was just a guess, though. Look, I've wanted so bad to play on Polish maps. I made my own Polish map. My own iteration of Polish strip farming. So let's check our yield so far. So we've only harvested a little bit of this field. And our yield and our earnings already put us into profit. Yes. So if we walk into here, so you're going to see this wheat is ready to harvest. Have perfect nitrogen levels. Ready to harvest. We're at 180. The 200 of 200. So wheat wants 200 kilograms per hectare. Barley wants 180. Oats wants 140. Canola looks like it wants... Oh, it's kind of wonky. Probably because I did my strip farming here. Like canola wants 200. Soybeans is angry because we have nitrogen. I don't think it wants any. Doesn't look like grass is good at 200. Corn is at 200. Sunflowers is wanting, what, 120. Again, because we were doing our strip farming. Soybeans again. Sugar beets are at 180. And cotton is at 120. Oh, here you go. Did you all know? You know that sunflowers follow the sun? Sun. Where they're facing. Fast forward the clock. And watch them move. They're moving. The more you know. Isn't that neat? So we're talking about soil levels. Take a look at something else in here. Let me pull up an XML file. Give me a momento. Zoom this. Whoa, yeah, that's good. Alrighty then. Here's a bunch of XML for you. So this is the precision farming XML, and we have wheat at the top. The soil type index 1, 2, 3, and 4 correspond to the 4 different soil types in precision farming. You can see the target levels of the soil types is different for the crop. The soil type 1, which is soil type 1 is loamy sand. Okay, so loamy sand has a target of 140. Sandy loam has a target value of 180. Loam has a target value of 200. And silty clay has 160. For wheat, barley's different. Oats is a different story. Canola, maize, grass, sunflower. Here you go. Soybeans, it doesn't want nitrogen. Doesn't want it whatsoever. The different crops basically expect different amounts of nitrogen on different types of soil. So since we have here our soil types, see here on field. You see on field 23, we've got 3 different soil types on field 23. So when we planted our crops here, okay, planted our corn, basically as we go across the field, we've got different amounts of nitrogen based on the different soil types, and we basically used the auto application rate, apply the appropriate amount of nitrogen fertilizer to the field based on the soil type and the starting nitrogen levels. So this is loam, 140 kilograms of nitrogen. So if we go back to here to our chart, I closed it out. Go back here to our chart and scroll down here. So loam is 3. So we could plant oats in here and not have to put any nitrogen down, and we're already at our target level. Oh yeah, right there. So if we came through here and put oats in, we're already at 140. We wouldn't have to apply any nitrogen. Our pH value is good. We don't have to apply any lime. Do that. Let's do this. I have a cedar around here somewhere. There it is. So let's put this on wheat, oats, and we need to fill seeds. And we're going to pull up our F1 menu. We still have it at auto application. Turn it on. And take a look. It's not applying any fertilizer because it's detected that it doesn't need to. Now there it applied a little bit of fertilizer, but that's because we had a air helper. He's good. Mechanical Madness, it works just fine with seasons. We're not using seasons here because I wanted to demonstrate a whole bunch of things. And seasons would clearly not let me do that. But you can see here if we go to soil types, see we had a little corner here and a corner here that we didn't test. That's why it was applying fertilizer there. But it's not applying pH or nitrogen at all because we don't need it because it's already got good levels. So by following oats up in this field, we're saving money because we're not having to fertilize and we're still getting our optimal yield. pH is still okay. GoldenEye, the three sisters are Maureen, Mary Beth, and Janice. Take a look here at our yield. And we're doing pretty good here. We are getting some seed costs that's being applied to this field now because we are seeding. Not putting any fertilizer down because, well, we didn't need to. So this does add a very, very interesting wrinkle to your crop rotation in seasons. Because now you might also factor in how various crops are going to leave the field with respect to nitrogen. So you may decide that, oh, I want to follow up a field of soybeans with a cereal because of the nitrogen that it puts into the soil. Now, I doubt significantly that the season's rotation scheduler is going to factor in any of this. Like I said, the update to seasons today did not look like it really had anything to do with precision farming. It was just a happenstance, I think. They were both updated the same day. So, I guess let's go over the highlights. You can use precision farming on any map, regardless if it has a custom soil map or not. Doesn't have its own custom soil map, it will use a generic one. That is what we are doing right here on Solfnoska. Okay? Just downloaded this from the mod hub, fired the game up with precision farming. In fact, I put a poll out an hour before the stream and basically had 4 maps up and said pick. And literally 3 minutes before the stream started, I launched a brand new save game. I didn't prepare this whatsoever in any way. As you can see here, we've got perfect nitrogen, good pH levels. Don't have to fertilize this, period. We're done. We didn't put an ounce of fertilizer on our oats because we already had enough nitrogen in the ground with respect to our soybeans. See the pH value of 6.5. For here we are at 0.5 still. Let's go do one. Seven, where is it? Do you need a mod? Well, Janice, if you want to... Whoa, watch out. If you want to play with precision farming, yes, because precision farming is a mod. A new mod add-on / free DLC from Giants. If you're not overly concerned about precision farming, then no. Hey, if I see the question, I'll try to help you out. I know there's been a lot of chat. There's a lot of viewers in here tonight. So I'm sure there's been questions that I've missed. I do plan on putting out some how-to videos on precision farming. Not sure on the format exactly right now. Might be in 2 or 3 different videos, or I might just do one longer video. They might start hitting tomorrow night. Basically, we'll need to get some time to put them together. Thoughts together after I learned a fair bit this stream myself. Well, quadruple A, no problem at all. Thanks for coming out and watching. Free to rewatch the stream anytime you want. Yep. And like I said, the how-to videos are hopefully going to be a bit more infographic. I've got some graphics planned. I've got some charts planned to put up. I'm going to try to explain it as best I can, knowing that just like seasons, there is a whole heck of a lot going on, and it's hard to be an expert this quick in the game, right? Alright, so we are on field 7. In a fertilizing contract. So it looks like we are applying just base fertilizer rates. We have not, obviously this has not been analyzed in any way. We have no idea what soil type this is. Since we don't have an idea of soil type, we're just applying straight fertilizer. Now, it might be hard to see, and I can't really zoom this in, but liquid fertilizer is 39% nitrogen. We're applying this at a rate of 341 liters per hectare. I'll hire a helper there. Oh, you can. You can hire a helper. Perhaps. I have plenty of time. Let's go over here to. It's going to be a problem of mine for a long time. So, manure is 0.7% nitrogen. Manure doesn't have a lot of nitrogen in it. Solid fertilizer is 27% nitrogen. We're getting Raz's favorite go-kart tractor. Liquid manure is 0.4% nitrogen. And digestate is 0.5% nitrogen. So they're all going to have different application rates. Now let's do some magic. Magic happened. And now we know soil types on everything. Three. So now we know soil types on all the land. Magic command. Magic happened. And are we applying a variable rate? Doesn't look like it. Like we're still applying the default spray amount. You have to have cheats enabled. Cheats. So you have to have the flash cheats or whatever it is on startup. And then it's magic command. Little p, little a. Big U. Big U. And then cover all. The big A. So it looks like contracts just apply at standard rates, even if the soil type is known. So you can thank Raz for that one. So here we have bad nitrogen, bad pH values on our ready to harvest barley. We have bad nitrogen and bad pH. I just want to harvest this field a little bit. Whoa, expected yield potential 94%. Play. I do like this infographic. There were expected yield 125%, 9%, 89%. Yeah, you can call a train. I don't remember the command. Yeah, we're just going to try this field 17 out. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. And booyah! So let's see what color our yield is. I have to say, I'm going to have the horriblest time with all these colors. So we're getting 65% yield there. 80, 85. Again, pretty bad yield because we've got bad pH and bad nitrogen levels. And the way you increase your pH is lime. You increase your nitrogen levels with fertilizer, be that organic fertilizer like manure, slurry, digestate, or chemical fertilizer in solid fertilizer or liquid. Hey, Pilot Pro, what's up? Let's do one thing before we ditch, and that is we're going to invite people. Got all kinds of really cool, fun people in tonight's stream. Come join us on Discord. And with that, we're going to have a very good night. Thanks for coming out, people. And yeah. Look for how-to videos on precision farming in the very near future. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so we will have a Farming in the Alps video coming out. Thursday we'll have ATS and SnowRunner video coming out. And until next time, happy farming.